Born in Europe's woodlands, Willy the Wisent cherished his joyful childhood and later a happy life with his own family. Yet, he yearned for more than domestic life and was captivated by the promise of America. Leaving his family with a vow to return wealthy, Willie faced harsh realities in America. His attempts at various jobs like police horse and football mascot failed. And without support from organizations like the ABHA, the American Bison Homeless Association, he succumbed to a menial job, depression, addiction, and debt. Haunted by guilt over abandoning his family, Willie realized he needs to turn home. With assistance from a wildlife rescue, he returned to Europe. Gradually, he's overcoming his struggles and addictions, rekindling family bonds and preparing for a hopeful future back in the reserve of Hirscheck. And with that, thank you to Gecko0304, who was the one to grant us with this beautiful story. To be fair, the story was a little bit different and longer, but I changed it so that I, could fit it into the first couple seconds of this video. I really hope you like this style. I really hope it kept you into the video. And we're building exactly this. We are building the wildlife reserve in which Willie is going to come and where he will rebond with his family and where he will fulfill his destiny to be back in Europe, And with that, I shall talk a little bit about Hirscheck, because that is the last animal from the wonderful Eurasia pack that we bring in here. As you guys have already said and voted for, we will have one more animal or maybe even two more animals to finish up Hirscheck. So it's gonna take a couple more days before we are done. But I kind of, had my target to end this at the end of the year, and I'm basically done. So that's very, very nice. So I brought all these animals in, check mark, and now everything else is bonus. And then you're gonna see me doing some more new projects in the future and returning to old projects such as Zoo Sicily with exactly the same story-driven approach. I also should say Happy New Year to all of you, so please, for every single one who's still with me at this point in the video, 2 minutes 30 in, that means you are a enormous human being, because you had the strength to stay in a video over 2 minutes. That is like 500% over the average retention span. So brilliant. Thanks. Nice. So every one of you who is still with me and still listening, make sure to put Happy New Year in the comments to everyone, okay? Let's make this comment sections blow with Happy New Year, because that will bring you a very happy new year, okay? And I have a couple of things to tell you. While this is a very relaxing build today, a lot of, a lot of nature, a lot of doing like this, will be very nice, and this is gonna be a very cozy episode, and I will tell you a couple of things. I have already made an announcement in my Discord channel, so if you want to get into this Discord channel, highly recommend. The link is in the description, and this is gonna be a good opportunity to join the community, because next year is gonna be different. There will be a video in the next days dedicated on the change of this channel. It's gonna be dedicated to all my failures of 2023. It's been a rough year, not to say the least, because of many reasons, but I think the biggest thing to say already as a spoiler is I have to blame myself. And you'll know after the video. But let's focus on the positives, because 2024 is going to be a positive year. I really believe into that. We are going to receive a brand new Planet game. It's going to be a great game. We are receiving tons of updates for City Skylines 2, which will make the game actually what we've hoped it to be. We are going to have Manor Lords. So already 3 games that I couldn't let's say I can't wait for. And there's going to be so many new projects. And one mega big change on my channel is going to be a refocus on Rudy, on me, on myself. I'm going to refocus on being creative, on being out of the box, and every single video is now going to focus a lot more on stories, okay? So as this story of Willy the Wisent in here and all the stories we had in this wonderful series so far is going to stay in one way or the other, okay? Every single video is going to have a new focus on a story-driven aspect. And also, I will focus on making all these videos, well, a bit more suitable for new people, for people who may not know me. I think, and I don't want to spoil too much of my video where I'm going to explain everything in detail, but I made a couple of other mistakes, which are very weird because I don't do these mistakes in my actual job. And my job is basically this, making people's successful on social media, which is weird. But anyways, so that was a very good experience. 2023 was a good experience, even though the year was kind of meh in terms of YouTube and so on. I'm sitting here very positive today. So happy New Year to all of you, and I hope you guys can look as positive and as bright into the new year. And if not, I believe you will in a couple of days, weeks, whatever, things will turn out great. I'm very, very sure about that. And I'm also very sure to bring you guys great videos. So the one thing you do not need to fear is any change in terms of my videos. I will potentially try to balance the amount of videos out a little. At this point, I'm releasing quite a lot of videos, which honestly, time-wise, is hard to manage for me. So I'd rather go and make some more story-driven, high-quality videos rather than focusing on the amount of videos I have right now. So this might be the only bigger change, that I try to reduce the overall amount of videos, but I will increase the amount of quality, storytelling, and just process, okay? It's a little bit hard because I need to refocus on certain things. Obviously, I will have a couple of new tools that will make me more efficient in what I'm doing. But as you know, I've got a little daughter who has been a pleasure working with in the last video. In case you haven't seen that, I made a tour of Yosemite Valley with my little daughter. It's so wholesome. It's so amazing. I really love all of your comments in that video, by the way. And if you haven't seen that one, check my channel. There is a wonderful video of touring Yosemite Valley with my daughter. Really love that one. So just as a little checkout. And I will do more like these. I will try to make more collaborations. I will try to make more specials. I will just explore, okay? I will explore doing videos in a way that you guys are more captivated and more engaged, and I'm really looking forward to the year 2024. But now let's quickly talk a little about this video and the build, and also let's talk about the audiobook that I've listened while I was building in this park. So I re-listened to the first part of the Hunger Games, and it's kind of crazy because lately we've been to the movies, to the cinema, and we've watched the first of all them, if you will, or actually it's the last one, but in the chronological order. It is the first one, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, or Snakes and Songbirds, no idea which way around, but it's been a very pleasant surprise. I thought the movie was really good. I was super positively surprised by the artwork, like the whole looks of it. The actors were really good, and also I was already pretty impressed by the book, and I'm also even more surprised by the movie. So if you haven't seen that one yet and you are into the Hunger Games as a series anyways, that is definitely a high recommendation from me. But also I was then, I just had the feeling, how about listening to the first one? It was like 3 or 4 years ago that I listened to the audiobooks, and so I just re-listened to them, and I found them again very pleasing. And it's kind of crazy because the first book, in case you don't know it or whatever, it starts at the beginning a lot in the forest, Katniss Everdeen is a lot talking about the forest, how she's hunting in the forest, and this set me into the mood making this build, so that's kind of cool. And I wanted to capture the essence of how a forest, like a lush forest that you would go hunting in, or like trying to find some herbs and stuff. And I wanted to capture this, and I wanted to do a couple of more interesting sites in here, just as this little hill, that has a lot of kind of bracken growing over it, but also having like a lot of these muddy stones and rocks and boulders. And I just figured that the one thing we are lacking in this game maybe at this point is like a proper mud piece, like actual muddy stuff from like a forest in Europe or so. But other than that, you can pretty much do everything, and I focused on really making sure everything looks nice and has like some really good overgrown state, and just in general making sure that the whole of Hirscheck now comes finally together. It's not like the finishing touches, that's going to be done in the next or the episode after. I'm really not sure how many more we do. It depends a little bit on how you guys receive it and just how many more ideas I have, because 7-ish episodes in now, really it was good that I made them all very much back to back, because that just kind of captures my drive and makes sure that I really want to do it, and having all these stories to tell definitely helped in making it a lot better. But it also is tiring if you stick exactly to this one theme. You have to stick to it, and there's ever so much you can do. So I just think that I really nailed it in many ways, but it's also the part where we need to kind of see if I can keep it going this way, or if I have to rebalance a little bit and have to go into another project maybe for a moment, and then we're gonna revisit that naturally next winter. I'm just kidding. I don't know. It depends also on if we are getting DLCs and what they bring, if they bring more forest dwelling animals, or you never know. There's like so much potential, but there's really, I think we almost have every single animal I can think of in a nature reserve like that located in Europe. We already had like a little bit of a stretch to bring some stories into it, how certain animals, you know, have gotten here. So obviously there are still some candidates that we could bring in here anyways from the already existing roster. That's a given. But also I have now really looked into so many different styles that I wanted to go to, that I think at this point it's really better to focus on finishing it, and then let's make like a tour. I'm gonna release this to the workshop. Everyone can have their hands and hooves and whatever on it, and so I'm very happy with how it turned out. And yet, as always, I try to change up the style here a little, making sure that not every shelter looks exactly the same. We kind of have the same shelter in this region for the three, like for the Saiga, for the Wisent, and also on the other side for the Tarkin, which I thought makes sense because all these three would have been built together. And then we also have like a similar looking shelter for the boar and the sloth bear, yet again because they are kind of together. And what we also have is obviously a completely different type of shelter for the wolverine, simply because of the type of animal, the way of securing it from the other animals in this park, and just making sure that this is looking very nice. One thing I also have to say is that the quality of the builds is a lot better than it was in the first part of Hirscheck. So I don't know if I have to go back to the other habitats or some of the other habitats. I really thought that specifically the wolves and the common deer specifically, they could actually take some love, and you know, they deserve some love. Maybe I'm gonna go and refurbish these habitats, maybe in a live stream. Maybe it's not gonna be like an episode, but maybe in a live stream before releasing this project. Just kind of feel like they deserve to be made a little bit better. And yeah, other than that, I'm relatively happy with how it all comes together now. I need to do some street markings to make the street really look like a street, and just put some trees next to it to just really make this whole feeling come together. I'm gonna throw like a lot of leaves and stuff down there because that will make it look a lot more realistic. And not sure when exactly this, you know, park would be located, like season-wise. I mean, obviously we can change to snow and to rain and whatnot. But the real problem here is that for most of the trees and stuff to really go to winter, you would need these kind of fallen trees, dead trees or whatnot, because most of the trees have something. And here's a little thought I wanted to talk about. What do you think about actual seasons also affecting the models in a park? Like, I was thinking so much about a potential new Planet game. I was thinking so much about a potential successor to Planet Zoo. And I remember that a lot of people have recently vocalized their concerns of having a successor way too early, which I kind of share, but I still believe due to all the restructuring at Frontier, we may see this game getting a successor earlier than we thought. But early is a relative word in this case, or a relative term, because the earliest I see it is 2027, or maybe 2026, depends a little bit on the release schedule that they're focusing. So maybe 2026 in November, which is still some good 2 years into the future. And considering we would get actually more than 2 years, it's almost 3 years. But looking into how they do this usually, we would then also have like another Planet game in between that has all the support and whatnot. And then I think one feature that would really interest me is actually the changing seasons affecting the foliage and the building pieces, the scenery pieces. Like not even speaking of weathering, but also things they have already started in this game. Things like, for example, the changing conditions affecting the temperature indoors and outdoors. How about making sure that these trees that lose their leaves, obviously, in the winter, then grant more views into a habitat, which eventually will lead to the fact that these animals don't have enough privacy anymore. And these kind of things would be super interesting as well, that the usage of foliage is not only to their needs, but also to the requirements of the habitat itself, like viewing opportunities, and also maybe how maintenance heavy a habitat will become. You know, the more leaves these trees will lose, you have to clean it all up, or the whole habitat is going to be drowned in leaves. I mean, I know what I'm talking about, because having a house now and having a big garden with a lot of trees, that kept me busy for the last couple weeks, always grabbing all the leaves from the ground to not destroy the grass, you know. That was really quite a lot of work, and so that would be something I've never seen in a game like that, and I think this would add some great value. Obviously, they would have to bring that in as a potential job for the keepers and for the caretakers and stuff, because doing that yourself, that would be a very unnecessary micromanagement thing. But just in general, having this as an additional task and additional requirements for your staff members could be really interesting. But yeah, I think it's time to jump over into the real-time part and have a look how this all turned out, because that is one of these builds that has to be seen in the real-time part, because screenshots and the time-lapse doesn't really do it justice. So let's hop over. We begin our tour at the Swan Lake, so you can get a little bit of a glimpse how nice it already looks in this whole project, because I haven't shown really too much of the rest of the zoo, where I have done some stuff also off screen, but you can now tell there's the wolverine habitat over there. It looks all very nicely embedded. There you can't really tell, this is where the little hut is next to the boar habitat. And if we go and turn around, there's a swan just running away from us into the bushes. We are doing a little sneaky shortcut here behind the house and to the other side. And this is exactly where we are with the recent habitat. This is like a big one. And if we look in here, there you can see our friend Willie. There is Willie in his wonderful habitat with his family as well. And yeah, as you can tell, it's quite a huge habitat and very overgrown, a lot of trees, very dense, and this is what I wanted to do this time around. We are going to go into the habitat in a second, but let me just look at that. I think it looks beautiful. And they are ginormous, like they are really, really big ones. This is Willie. Look at that, Willie is coming towards us. Look at that, shake that off. Okay, cool. Now, if we go over here, look at how that turned out. I really like how this turned out with this little tree fallen over here, and this is the recent house. I quite like the style, you know, it's not overly overdone, but it's you know, easy, nothing too crazy, but it still looks good. It fits in the style. This is where our Christmas market build is, where we still need to do a bit of things. We need like a fence over here. We need something to connect to the Saigas on the other side. So really nice stuff. And also, let me just quickly do this. I just figured there's the menu. Oh, I don't know what that happens. So yeah, that's the habitat. Let's sneakily go up here, this little hill. There you go. And there you can see, oh, look at that vista. Oh boy, that looks so good. Look at how that looks. Yes. Simply, yes. Let's go over here and have a bit of, I cannot say how much I love that. Look at this. Beautiful, reunited with its family. This is how it needs to be. This is how it needs to be. Oh yeah, let me just quickly take a photo of that, because it just looks way too good. I just have to capture this. This is a moment, a family moment in our area. Look, I cannot say, this is just absolutely beautiful. This could actually be the thumbnail already, I don't know. But I really like it. Look, those two, are they just liking each other again? Look, Willie has been reintroduced, and they two just have a little talk, you know. They are speaking about the time in the US, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna head off here. Yeah, but this is the habitat. I love it. There is this little water feature that you've seen in the build itself. It's very lush, and I really feel like this time around it worked. I was talking about this in some of the other episodes, that sometimes it just doesn't work because it's too dark and so on, but this specific area of the park just kind of felt good for it, and so I did it. Stop jumping on this thing. I mean, just look at that. It just really, really comes together. Yeah, see you later. Go into the water. I think I also found a good depth for them, so that they're not swimming, but they're like actually walking through it. And I think this is beautiful. I think them walking through the water looks really cool. Can we actually change the sun quickly? And I want to see if there's like a bit of a nicer morning look maybe onto them. Look, we can't really get it. Okay, I thought we could get the other one into the sunlight too. Yeah, like slightly over here. And maybe the sun from the other side? Can we get like a late night? There you go. It's like a very early shot maybe. Ah, look at this. Ah, I like it. I like it a lot. It looks really cool. Just turning the sun again to the other daytime. This is like evening condition. I can cope with this too. This looks really cool too. But as I said, this is what I meant. Like when you're in the shadow, it just kind of doesn't really look that good anymore. And I've always tried to at least get this a little bit in the sun. So this is, you know, midday is kind of the best day for this habitat too. Yeah, quite a struggle to build this. This is something I really do like about Prehistoric Kingdom, that you can change sun direction and sun rotation. Look, what are you doing, you two? Are you liking each other? No, you're not? Okay, cool. Ah, yeah, but I'm very happy with how this habitat... Oh, now they're liking each other. Look, they're having a good time. Yeah. And she's like, okay, what the heck? What the heck mom and dad are doing? I don't understand. I don't understand, mom and dad. I'm just, you know, shy, looking away. So yeah, this is the habitat. I think it's the moment in time where we need to fly up and have a look how this habitat looks from above. Oops, not the explore mode. Let's go into the... Nope. My god, so many modes now. I just want to go... Oh, we are already in the free look mode. Okay, this is why I was so stupid. So yeah, from above, it doesn't really look all that fancy, to be honest. And there's a little bit of a open space here where I need to do still some stuff, which I wasn't too sure what to do, because quite a big oak tree like that already covers quite something. Maybe we're gonna go with like an elm tree here, just maybe putting that on this spot, and then just give the whole area a bit more grassiness and stuff. I mean, you know, it's sometimes when I'm done, I just need to kind of refocus before I do this. And yeah, I think, you know, this could actually be okay. The problem though is, and this is quite often the problem, oh my god, this is where the menu is. The problem quite often is that the FPS suffer a lot from all of these grassiness. So this is why I naturally try to avoid doing it too much, but there is floating over here. Can I just align this a little so it's not floating anymore? Wait a sec. It's okay if they sink into it a bit. It's not too shabby, but there you go. Now this is properly aligned. I like that. I like that a lot, and I hope you guys do too. This has been Willie's little story in the bison habitat, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that one. I certainly did enjoy making this. Oh my god, look at this vista over here. With them in the... Oh, this looks also too good. Can I change the sun so that the waterfall is a bit more in the sun as well? There you go. Ah, this is beautiful as well. Look, if we do it that way, and then we zoom in a little here. Ah, yeah, that all just looks so cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this habitat. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Okay. I hope you guys had fun. I know I did, to quote a famous YouTuber. I will continue with this project as promised. I have so many more ideas. Not sure for how long, but yeah, this is Willie's sanctuary after he had a good time in the US, or even not that good time in the US. Hope you guys have a brilliant start into the new year. So all I can say is, yet again, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you guys go nuts in the comments with commenting Happy New Year for everyone. And yeah, I talk to you in the next one. Would love to stick around with you together. So in case you like the stuff, make sure to subscribe for the new year. I talk to you in the next one. Have a good time and goodbye.